I'd like to introduce you to the A38. The A38 is a very important road connecting the Midlands to the southwest of England. It starts down here in Bodmin in Cornwall and goes all the way to Mansfield in Nottinghamshire. It is 292 miles long, making it the longest two-digit A road in England, and it passes through some very important places, most notably Bristol down here in the southwest and Birmingham in the West Midlands. Now let's have a closer look at a stretch of road in the south of Birmingham on the A38, very close to where I live. It's a stretch of road that I've had to cycle along in the past. I'm a very keen cyclist. In fact, it's quite close to Cadbury World. I think cycling should be encouraged by the council. It's a good way of getting around, it keeps you fit, and it doesn't take up much room on the road. Not to mention, of course, it is very much more environmentally friendly than cars. So let's look at this stretch of the A38. Imagine I'm cycling south along here with this side road on my left. There it is, there's a side road on my left, and I'm cycling in the cycle lane. It's very helpfully marked, it's very clearly labelled with this picture of a bike and the fact that it's a different shade of concrete. It's green rather than grey. It's on the main road, which means that I have priority over the side roads. I can just cruise along, I don't have to wait for this car to pull out. I can just cruise down the main road having oh, okay, well the cycle lane had ended there and we have to veer up this really awkward grassy verge onto the pavement and join a different cycle lane there. Okay, well it's frustrating. It means that I have to slow down and lose all my momentum, but you know, I'm a respectable member of society. I want to obey the cycle lanes that have been helpfully marked out for me by the council. So let's veer up onto that grassy verge and cycle along the pavement until, oh okay, right, so the cycle lane ends there at the pedestrian crossing, and where it would continue afterwards there is just a grassy verge with no clear direction for the cyclists to go in. Do we want to go onto the pavement? Well, no, that's where pedestrians go. Do we want to go onto the road? Well, no, because there isn't a clearly marked cycle lane, and there isn't for quite some time by the looks of it. So let's cross the road and see if there's a cycle lane over here. There is, but it seems to be, yep, it's connected to this cycle lane, which is clearly a one-way cycle lane in the other direction. So let's have a look at this. Oh, yep, there's the classic awkward veering onto the pavement there via a difficult grassy verge. So if we're cycling this way this time, north up the Bristol Road, let's follow that for a bit. Well, we're on the pavement, and so we no longer have priority over sides roads like this, so we just have to cross this road as if we were a pedestrian waiting for any cars that might want to go in or out, and then we get to the other side and oh okay, there are two cycle lanes now. Which one do we go on? Well, we've just been told to go onto the pavement. I don't really want to veer out into the road again, so I guess I'll stay on the pavement cycle lane, just following it along until oh, it's an awkward S-bend, I guess, to avoid this lamppost, so we have to slow down and do an awkward turn there. Okay, fine, we'll do it. I'm a respectable member of society. I want to follow the cycle lanes that have been helpfully laid out for me by the council until, oh, okay, so the cycle lane has ended there. There's an awkward bit of terrain that will really not be pleasant to cycle over. So do we go back onto the road, back onto this bit of cycle lane? Well, I mean, there isn't a ramp down to it, and anyway, the cycle lane ends just there for a bus stop. So, okay, well, oh, hang on a second, what's this over here? It's a signpost saying that there's a cycle lane there, and look, there is indeed a cycle lane. So let's veer across the pavement, past all of the pedestrians that are happily going about their day, being run into by a bike, and let's find our way over to this beautiful piece of cycle lane. I mean, just look at it. You veer off round a tight S-bend, behind a bus shelter, being careful to avoid the grassy terrain just to your left. All of this space on the pavement, no, not being used at all. Let's just force all the cyclists behind a bus shelter. Genius, absolutely brilliant. And then we go across another little stretch of pavement that could involve crashing into some more pedestrians. Let's do another awkward S-bend to avoid cycling straight into this box. And then let's get to another dead end where there's no indication of where to go. I guess we just veer across this driveway dangerously if we want to go left, or if we want to carry on this road, I guess we just rejoin this new piece of cycle lane that's just magically appeared that wasn't on the road before. So I guess that's what we do, and we have to probably just go across this bit of road here. Bit dangerous, we'll have to, weave in and out of cars to get back onto the cycle lane, but that's unfortunately just the nature of cycle lanes in the UK. There is very little thought put into them, they are very uninviting, and at the end of the day it's much easier just to stay on the roads, which I'm afraid is going to be very annoying for all the motorists out there who don't want to be driving behind cyclists and having to overtake them awkwardly. But unfortunately, until councils in England take a leaf out of the book of Amsterdam and various other cities across Europe and indeed the world, unfortunately these are what our cycle lanes will look like. I mean, just look one more time at this beautiful piece of art. That's what we have to put up with. That's why we're just constantly on roads ignoring cycle lanes, and that's why there just aren't many cyclists in the UK. I think it's very important that we encourage cycling for people's fitness, for reducing road congestion, and of course for helping the environment. But things like this will just not encourage cyclists.